that we really feel like are doing really well and give them a little bit more time than usual to really show us what they're made of. So give it up. We have 7 comics going tonight. Give it up for them. But yeah, we have a great show for you tonight. Before we get into the other comedians, though, I'm your host, Kelsey. You're going to be seeing a lot of me throughout the night, so get used to it. Get comfy and cozy. A little bit about me. I love Roblox. Do we have any Roblox fans in the audience? Just as I figured. I love Roblox. I feel like it really gets that part of my brain that's underdeveloped and like really stretches it. But one thing about Roblox, I don't know if you guys heard this, Roblox is actually going to put online dating in their game. So if you're a user 17 years or older, you can opt to be part of their online dating experience, okay? Which is like, I've never really gotten dating online, but like, even more so, I don't get dating in like an MMO. It's like what you talk about. You're like, hey, like, I really like your avatar's wings. You're just really cute. Or you're like, that emote you did, it's really got me feeling hot and bothered. Do you want to take this to voice chat? Like, I just have never really gotten it. But then also, like, it's 17 and up, which is like weird because it's like Roblox is like, minors that can't be taken advantage of are 17 years old. No pedophile is like going for a 17-year-old, okay? Every single time that a pedophile has gone up to a minor and said, how old are you, minor? 17. You're too close. You're too close to being 18. I think another reason why it's so hard for me to imagine dating in Roblox is because a lot of what me on Roblox looks like is me trying to beat up the chat filters and see what the craziest thing I can say is. So like an average conversation in Roblox goes like this for me. Oh, hey, yeah, great job in that last game. 2 men kissing? Sorry, I'm in the middle of something right now, but you want me to join a game with you afterwards? Yeah, just give me 1 second, I'm in the middle of something really important. Gay sex. Yeah, you know, I like my avatar too, I think it's really cool, I made it myself. Cock and balls. But there's a W in there. I think being online is really weird. I'm a chemistry major, I love to talk about it. People online have no fucking clue, though, what they're talking about. Like, have you ever guys seen these, like, health women online? So today I was, like, scrolling through Instagram, right? And this lady is like, I washed my tomatoes in a pH of 12. Which, first of all, referring to a liquid by its pH is fucking crazy. Like, no one walks into a bar and is like, pH of 2, please. But anyway, she was like, yeah, I washed my tomatoes in a pH of 12. Which, for my non-chem people, that's ammonia. Like, that's fucking crazy. And she was like bragging because she was like, look at how much dirt comes off. And the like tomatoes were melting. And I was like, if I never saw food melting, I'd be like, this is nuclear waste. Like, I cannot put this into my body. Let's get this shit taken care of, okay? Another thing that I find really crazy online is these like people are now like really into drinking like raw milk. So like when you go to the store and you buy milk, right, it's like all the bacteria has been removed, and these people they're like, if you drink raw milk, it'll cure everything. So they're like pointing to the Amish and they're being like, in the Amish they've cured autism by giving their kids raw milk. And first of all, like fun fact about the Amish, they don't complete school past 8th grade. Which like I don't think that we should trust people with health knowledge if they don't know what a mitochondria is. Like, I just think that's a little odd. Another little thing about me, I'm a classics minor. Classical studies is the study of Greek and Roman people. One of my favorite things to mention about Greek and Roman people was they had this thing called symposium. Here was what symposium was. Basically, you and your best, like 10 bros, would go to a restaurant. And there would be eat, there'd be music, there'd be beautiful women, but you were also naked, and you would pay someone to jerk you off. And I just love to think about like the implications if we had that in today's world. Like you walk into a bar and your waitress is like, hi, how can I help you? All right, so we're gonna get an order of buffalo wings, a Miller Lite, oh, and a happy ending. Yeah. Do you want to throw in some bukkake with that, or? All right, I'll get a lady out to help you in 20 minutes. I think that we should start a class here at Purdue called Porn Throughout History. Studying, throughout antiquity, the different versions of porn that they have. Chapter 1, Unit 1, yes, Jesus was a carpenter, but he also was a carpet muncher. Chapter 2, this is a dramatic rehearsal retelling One of the first people being caught with porn was a cave boy drawing on the walls with stick figures. And behind him comes his mom, and he turns and he goes, "Whoa!" Yeah. We got anybody in here who's on antidepressants? The silence. It's okay, guys, I get it. I've been on Zoloft for a very long time now. One thing I was really scared about going on Zoloft was I was like, oh my god, everybody talks about how it really decreases your sex drive. And I was like, fuck, what if I just am no longer a sexual person? Fun fact, if you are someone you love, or a friend, or your boyfriend, or your sneaky link is having trouble in the bedroom, having trouble, maybe getting it up, getting the times going, you should take a Zoloft. In my personal experience, it has helped me so much. Over the summer, I actually worked in Chicago. Fun fact about Chicago, there's so many speed bumps. So I'd be driving to work, and I'd hit a speed bump, and I'd be like, oh! I have to pull over. We gotta get this taken care of. One last little tidbit about me over the summer. I also, between my escapades of going to work, obviously, I went to the Titanic Museum, which was great. It was wonderful. I did feel a little weird, though, because when I first walked in, they were like, oh, are you here for the Jewish experience? Did I just get racially profiled? And the worst thing about it was, I have been racially profiled before. I know, getting, assumed to be a Taylor Swift fan is so hard. But I was like, how do they, is it my hair? Is it my nose? And I was like, it's probably because I use a Groupon. When I came here, but whatever. But the weird thing, though, is when you leave the Titanic Museum, it's the last thing that you see in the Titanic Museum is a list of all of the people that died in the Titanic. And, thousands of people died. So many people died in the Titanic. And then the next room you walk into has a shirt that says, I survived the Titanic. And it makes me wonder, at what point does a national tragedy go from being, this is really sad, to I can now wear a shirt that says, I survived the Titanic. So then you know where I'm going with this. At what point in time can I go to the 9/11 museum and wear a shirt that says, I survived 9/11 terrorist attacks? Thank you guys so much. You've been a great crowd. We really appreciate it. We're going to move on to some of our other comics tonight. I'm going to bring out the extremely talented Alden.
How's it going, guys? So I went to the grocery store around here. I went to Walmart, and I went into the vegetable section trying to be healthy. Too many sugary treats here. All the cucumbers are gone. The entire shelf of cucumbers absolutely ransacked. And I could only think, who's buying all those cucumbers? That is a math problem from elementary school, right? If Tom buys 10 cucumbers, and he gives 6 to Sarah and 3 to Jeremy, how many does he have left to stick up his own asshole? My nurse friend of mine told me about this guy that actually went to the emergency room because he had stuck a cucumber up his asshole, and he had left it there for 3 whole days. 3 days in there, turned to mush, right? And I was saddened by that. Not because he went to the emergency room, but because it did not turn into a pickle. I thought it would turn into a pickle, and I don't know chemistry that well. I don't know agriculture. I don't like cucumbers or pickles. But if I knew an anus was part of the process, I probably would like it. It would add to the fanciness. It's like that meerkat poop coffee. It makes it fancier because it comes from fecal matter. On a bit more of a somber note, I just got back, literally just got back 20 minutes ago from a funeral. And I swear, every time I go to a funeral, there's always one person that makes it about themselves. They always just lay there, and they just sit in this little box, and they think it's all about them. They put their photo everywhere. I swear, it is not all about you. I want to drink too. I want to have fun. Some people get real inventive too. They don't just throw it in the casket and throw it in the dirt. That's rookie shit. They make, once you get cremated, they turn you into things, right? They have people that will put you in a tree so you can be planted into a tree. They have people that you can light them off in firework for them and watch your loved one blow up in the sky. How romantic is that? I thought of some cute ideas, right? I think it would be really fun to put some ashes in one of those little minute timers and then hand it out as party favors to everyone at the funeral. And when you're playing games with your family, if you need another member, you've got one right there. You just gotta turn it over. I made a deal with one of my friends that I get, if he dies before me, I get his left testicle, and I'm going to cremate it, and I'm going to put it on a little necklace. I'm going to swing it around my neck. It's like a planet going around the sun. It'll be real cute. I told him that if I die first, he can have my third nipple. Yes, I have a third nipple. I don't know what to use it for. Two nipples on a man is already useless enough. A third nipple on a man is about as useless as a giant penis on a chemical engineering student. You're not using it. You might as well give it to someone else. Right? I wish I could detach and reattach my nipples, right? So I could throw it at people. Because that's fun, right? Two nipples, what am I going to do? I can't lactate out of them. I've tried. Trust me, I've tried. I can't do it. But I wish I could. And so I would love to have them just like throw them out and then have them reattach back. So I could go up to someone's speaking real nasty to me. I just go, nipple! And they're like, all right, we've evaded two nipples. He's out of nipples. Third nipple! They won't see it coming. Now up north, which is where the funeral was, it's in Amish territory. And they have these donuts. They're delicious donuts. But they call them Amish crack, which is a bit of a weird thing to call them because I grew up in southern Indiana, in Martinsville, where they sold real crack. And it does not taste the same, let me tell you. It does not taste the same. My brother started getting really into the crack business and really into selling it. He saw drugs as a lucrative business. He was an entrepreneur. And so he started out that venture. My dad, on the other hand, he was a moron, right? He was a pediatrician, and he spent so many years trying to get a degree in selling drugs. When according to my brother, all you need is a supply and an entrepreneur experience. They both had pagers, which was kind of weird. But I wanted to get into this industry because my dad was doing it, my brother was doing it. I thought it would be interesting, right? And whenever I would go to the store and tell people, or go to the store or YMCA or wherever, Martinsville, there's not much to do in Martinsville. I can go to Walmart or YMCA. That's all you got. Walmart, YMCA, crack house. So when I would go and they would say like, oh, how's it going? I'd be like, hi, my name's Alden, blah, blah, blah. And they'd be like, oh, what's your last name? I'd say, Brew. Oh, I know your dad. Oh, I know your brother. Which meant that they either got their drugs in a paper bag or a plastic one. It told me a lot about them. It was really interesting when they knew both. The inducer and the recluser, right? I wanted to get into this business. They were really smart. My brother got real clever with it. He would take mechanical pencils, and he would take the eraser off the pencil, take the lead out, stuff it full of cocaine, and give it to high school students. So that when they were in class, they could just do a line right on the table. They would get real ready for an exam. You think caffeine works? Try cocaine. It's intense. We were watching Scarface one day, and my brother, I was with my brother, and I was asking him, what is it that he's snorting? Spoiler alert, it's cocaine. But I didn't know that. I was an 8-year-old little child, and he said it's powdered sugar. That makes sense. It's called nose candy, right? But that's like $2 for a pound at Aldi. I can make those conversions so quickly, and I could be selling a large supply of powdered sugar and be making bank. And I did make bank, let me tell you. I went to the store with my mom. We bought a 2-pound bag. She didn't know what it was for. She probably thought it was a school project. I took it back home, did some simple conversions, put it in little bags, and I went to church the next day. And I sold it for $25. I got $25, and as an 8-year-old, that is a lot of money. And I was so high, not off the cocaine, but off just the adrenaline of doing that. It was so much fun, right? And it was becoming quite a lucrative business that I needed to expand my industry. I got other church-following kids to sell drugs with me. And I started getting supply, too. I started saying, hey, what do you want? We've got Sweet Love, Splenda. We've got it all. We've got regular. And I just had so much powdered sugar at this point that I did not know what to do with it. Because I was selling pound after pound after pound. And I started putting it in my tea. Yes, I drink tea. I was homeschooled. Don't make fun of me. But I one time mixed my brother's supply with my own. And that was a bad idea. I went around the house cleaning up for 48 hours, and I reorganized the whole place twice. Now, my brother is one of the fun little cremation stories, right? We did cremate him. We didn't do something fun like that, though. We put him in a box. But, since we cremated him, he was one of the best lines that I've ever smoked. All right, that's my time. Thank you.
Give it up for Alden, guys. Woo! I'm not really good with family trauma, so I don't really know what to say following up with that. But I will introduce our next comic, Emily. Give it up. Hi everyone, who here did BGR ever at all? And maybe remembers their like TL tell-all? Well, I was a TL, and one of my students for the TL tell-all asked me what my body count was. But in this really weird, indirect way, like he was trying to buy like a used car from a dealership. So like he didn't ask direct questions like how many miles are on it. He asked like, is the leather interior damaged? Did the windows roll down for like anyone? Did the locks work, or you can just get right in? What's the stain on the seat? And so I answered like about as directly as he asked. I said, well, if drunk stains don't count, then my body count would be 0. And so sometimes I wonder, I feel like my parents would like that answer, but sometimes I wonder if my parents love me, because whenever I call them, they never pick up. They're always having bourbon tastings with our neighbor Dave. And it's like not fair, because then whenever they call me and I'm having wine Wednesday, then they get mad. Like, it's such a double standard. I'm like really upset about it. So yeah, my parents think I'm an alcoholic, but my friends say I give off stoner vibes. And I'm not really sure why about that either, because I don't even like geology. But I do like plants. Have you ever heard of this one plant? It's called marijuana. It's pretty cool. So last summer I went to Italy, and everyone's always talking about how good the food is, but I was not impressed. Like, I could not find Olive Garden anywhere. Italian food is so good, then why don't they have unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks? But I even went to Rome, which is like the birthplace of Julius Caesar. There was no Little Caesar pizza either. I always thought that Papa John's was part of the mafia, because there's no way that garlic stuffed crust is legal. But anyway, I am a food science major though, so and if you don't know what food science is, it's like women in STEM, but still in the kitchen. So for one of my classes, yeah, still in the kitchen, they're really progressive, women in STEM, let's go. So for one of my classes, we were tasting chips, and one of them was taco flavored, and the other one was taco flavored with lettuce, and big difference there. And so, it had me think about like other chips, they're progressing on these flavors, but like, this really popular chip called the Body of Christ, don't know if you've heard of it, you don't look like the church-going folks, but the Body of Christ hasn't had a flavor update in, 2,000 years, and I think it's about time that they, get some new flavors out there. But where's like the flavor blasted extra cheddar? Jesus Christ. What about Taco Jesus? Better yet, Taco Jesus with lettuce. What if they did like peanut butter, get some, like pair that with the wine, you've got some PB and Jesus going on. Well, that would really be fair to people who have peanut allergies, but they're not really worthy of the Body of Christ anyway. Some schools have, the peanut allergy table. Sometimes I wonder, what those kids are doing over there, all isolated at the table. Like, what do they even talk about? I would die for PB&J. Literally. Or maybe they're just like comparing their EpiPen sizes or something. I would not want to be around that. Like, thank God for the peanut allergy table. But I think they could actually like do a little bit better. They could step it up a bit. Like, what if they had drinking fountains? Only peanut allergy kids could drink them. Or what if they like sectioned off the back of the bus and made it so only the peanut allergy kids sit there? Like, I think it's great, I really do, that they have the table for the peanut allergy kids, but like, now you're telling me that they want to live in the house next door, driving down the property value? They want to run the same Olympics? Next thing you know, like in 50 years, there's going to be a Martin Luther Peanut saying like, I have a dream that one day we'll all be able to sit down at the same table, like brotherhood. But it's not that I don't want to sit at the same table as those nutters. Sorry, nutters. But I'm just saying, like, they're not going to want to be at the same table as me when I'm eating my Reese's peanut butter cups. So, but I mean, all this, I don't hate people with peanut allergies. My doctor has a peanut allergy. That's my time today. Thank you. Give it up for Emily! Woo! I totally get that. My roommate is a gluten allergy and we make her stay in the room. So, alright, give it up for our next comic, Kush!
And now I am blind. But yes, my name is Kushaka, or P-Sucks excuse for diversity. But yeah, let's get started. Ma'am, please do not redeem the gift card. Oh shit, wrong script again. Yo, my name is Kush, like the weed. But my full name is Kushagra Sisodia. Half of you just thought, forget it. Now you might be wondering why I say my name is Kush and not my full name. There's mainly two reasons. When I say my full name, Kushagra Sisodia, people think I am Indian Voldemort, cursing them with a Desi Indian version of Avada Kedavra. Secondly, you all can't roll your R's, so forget it. But yeah, I'm really stoked to be performing on this stage tonight. I was doing math and having the absolute worst week ever, and I missed 2 accounting assignments. I had to eat at Earhart for 4 days straight. I ran over someone with my scooter. I had a Calc 1 exam. I had a Chem exam. Crazy stuff. Imagine that. Just 275 pounds of pure Indian Desi fat being hurled at you at 28 miles per hour. It's like having your own personal terrorist. My lawyers have advised me not to finish this joke. But yeah, man, the week was just yeesh. But then I get a message from the PSUG Instagram account. Me, a measly freshman at one of the biggest unis in the world, being approached by a stand-up comedy club of that uni. It's like a struggling actress at Hollywood being approached by Harvey Weinstein. But yeah, the comedy club messages me on Insta saying, "Yo, is this Kush?" I'm thinking, what the hell, man? Did EJ finally report me to ICE? Or like, did I talk too much during the last workshop and they just want me to shut the fuck up? The Insta message says one thing. Our Supreme Lord EJ will talk to you. On Discord. At this point, I'm thinking, that's it. They found out that the gift card scam jokes weren't jokes. I get asked, "Yo, do you want to perform on Saturday for the showcase?" Bro, I'm not lying. As soon as I read those words, I became Dobby from the Harry Potter books. Master has given Dobby a present. Dobby is free. I can't lie, round of applause for Pizza for not making this fat ass Indian's day, but his whole week. Anyways, for the last part, I'm going to tell you a little story. This is an interaction I had a few weeks ago with a new friend. We're eating food at Airhart, and this one looks me dead in the eyes, no shame. He looks me dead in the eyes. Do you have cars in India? I almost spat out the sad excuse for food I was having. Because that was the start of one of the most first world country interactions I've ever had. I asked him in all my tikka masala induced rage, what do you mean, Dama? He said, I thought you all didn't have cars in India. I was now imagining how this beautiful specimen in front of me thought I got into freedom land from tech support land. He probably thought I had to download the cow rental app on my Xiaomi Note 171 Pro Max Ultra that I got for a grand total of $250. Then I had to rent a bullock cart, which, by the way, if you don't know, is the Indian equivalent of a U-Haul truck. But yeah, I looked at him and said, yeah, we have cars. This man, with no shame, once more looks at me and says, I mean, where would you drive the cars? You have no roads. So I took my electric scooter and ran him over. Thank you everyone. That's big one.
All right, give it up for Kush. Our lawyers are telling me that I have to say that we're not Harvey Weinstein. All right, give it up for our next comic, Mark.
Hello. Last week I ran a marathon for the first time. So that's, thank you. I didn't actually, but people cheer if you say that. So. I've been learning about the history of the marathon though, and I think it's pretty interesting. So if you're unaware, in ancient Greece there was a messenger who ran from the town of Marathon to Athens in order to deliver a message. And right when he arrived, he gives the message and then he passes out and dies. So as far as the ancient Greeks know, if you run that distance, it is lethal for a human being. So I don't know why they ever did it again. Like, in my mind, I can only imagine that the second person to ever run a marathon did so because he thought he could do it better than the first guy. Like, if I'm him, right, I'm in ancient Greece, I'm about to go downtown with my boys to chop it up at the bathhouse, dudes only. And in between the rounds of gay sex we're having, we're learning current events, and I hear, what? Philippides died? Oh my god, he ran how far? Jesus, and how fast did he run? He must have been moving. Oh, no, I'm sorry, but I mean, hear me out? I think I could do it faster, but that's just me, I'm sorry. By the way, if you're ever talking to anyone and they give you one of these, they go, you know they're about to say just the most arrogant thing you've ever heard. Like, if you're watching a football game in a group full of guys and someone on screen drops a pass, you know at least one person is like, I mean, hear me out? I'm him, I catch that, but that's just me. Or if you're like at a bar talking to a girl and she leaves, your friend comes up to you and goes, oh, that girl just left, did you get her number? Dude, oh my god, she left before you could? Fuck, dude. I mean, hear me out? I would get her number, but that's just me, little bro, don't worry. Or if you're just on the town, someone comes up to you, hey man, saw you at the bathhouse the other night, how many guys fucked you in the ass? Only 2? I get 10 personally, but see me next time, we'll figure it out. I love that number. I'm looking for jobs right now. That doesn't help, but I'm graduating in December, and it is not going well. It's getting a little nervous right now because not knowing in 4 months if I'm going to be able to clothe or feed myself is pretty tough, and I've heard those are important. So the way that I'm keeping sane, though, is I'm thinking about, you know, that stereotype of like you get a job in the mailroom, you work your way up to CEO. I like thinking about that and applying it to professions where that's just not how it works at all. Like, my plan out of college, right? I'm going to get a job in the mailroom at the NBA. And through addressing, writing, and stamping, as well as, bumping elbows with the higher-ups, 3 martini lunches, shaking hands, kissing babies, the whole 9. Eventually, I'll work my way up the corporate ladder to my dream job of starting point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers. Professional athletes, that's how every professional athlete goes through their career, as far as I know. Professional athletes are crazy because, if you're that good of an athlete, and say if you're young and that good of an athlete, you can go from high school to competing at the professional level. So that means, take basketball, for example. That means that your senior year of high school, you are an NBA-level athlete that can share the floor with a 14-year-old. There is no other place on the planet where that happens. So there's 2 athletes on the floor right now. One of them is thinking of his Algebra 1 exam, or the girl he's trying to ask to homecoming, and making sure his parents don't catch him jacking off. The other athlete is thinking of the actual millions of dollars they're going to make next year, what supermodel they're going to Ibiza with, and to be fair, they're probably also still a little bit worried about their parents catching them jacking off. They're still kids at the end of the day. When I was in high school, I was actually unfortunate enough to meet one of these athletes on an opposing team. I played basketball and I was really bad, but I made up for it by being really delusional. So the first game of my junior year, I decided, you know what? I'm end of the bench right now. Coach doesn't believe in me, but I'm going to convince him this game that I deserve playing time. And I cannot really express how quickly it was from me getting subbed in to me getting windmill dunked on twice by a man named Bol. Now, if you don't follow the NBA or refuse to believe that Bol is the real name of a human being, Bol is a 7'2" center who plays for the Phoenix Suns. I understand the stage is a little elevated, so perspective might be off, but I'm a little shorter than 7'2", and the only son I will ever be is Bol's because he dunked on me twice. So I get pulled immediately and don't play for the rest of the game. And afterwards, I'm sitting down, my coach comes up to me and he goes, "Mark, I think it's time we start looking for the mailroom." I love following professional sports. I follow all the big ones, the NBA, the NFL, the CIA, the JFK, the INK, the big ones. But my favorite ones are the ones that are for sports that you wouldn't think had a professional league. Because those ones are the ones where you can go very quickly from not knowing the sport existed to thinking you're an expert on it. The other day, I was watching ESPN 8, and I pulled up professional rodeo. So I'm watching bull riding. And I watched the first guy get on, rides the bull for a bit, and he gets knocked off. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? That was pretty good. I'm sure he'll score pretty high for that. And as I'm thinking that, this guy walks up to the PBR ad on the wall and just starts wailing on it. And I'm like, so yeah, maybe not. Maybe that was not a great time, actually. That was my first time watching. This is me not knowing the sport. I watch 3 more bull riders go. And the next guy that goes up, he rides it, gets knocked off, and I go, oof, he's not getting top 5 at that time. I know anything that I'm talking about. If you keep watching, though, and you keep getting more and more invested in these sports, you can then move on to the third stage of knowing the sport, where you go from thinking you're an expert to fully believing that you could compete at the professional level. So, because we're watching, I'm with my friends, we're all watching this, and we're now Googling the rules of the sport. And we've seen more and more people go by and becoming more and more invested, and someone goes, damn, you only need to spend 8 seconds on the bull. We're looking at each other, and hear me out. My name is Mark Saccone, thank you so much.
All right, guys, give it up for Mark. All right, next up, we have our second to last comic of the night, single tier. I'm really sad to see you guys go. But give it up for Justin.
What's up, guys? How's it going? My hometown
was recently on national news. And you guys see this, Strongsville, Ohio? Doesn't matter. Whenever that happens, you always hope it's for something good. You always hope someone like started a charity or like climbed a tree to save a cat. It's never that. It's usually someone stole from a charity and then climbed a tree to have sex with a cat. It's never good. And that's not exactly what happened this time. What happened this time was a classmate of mine killed 2 people in an intentional car crash. Yeah, it's a rough one. She drove into a building over 100 miles per hour. And it went viral, and how we know about this, because the trial went viral when the judge described it as hell on wheels. I don't know, it looked a lot more like a car on wheels. With doors and windows and stuff. Yeah. Now you shouldn't make fun of death. It's fucked up, but I'm going to. Funerals are the worst. I really don't like them. I've always noticed that the worst funerals are always funerals for men. Because it's usually an old dude, and it's like, he's looked dead for a decade, and now you slap some makeup on him, and I'm supposed to act like I give a fuck? And then you make me drink stale coffee and cookies with your gay uncle? The least you can do is die somewhere interesting, so we can throw a search party. Now, girl funerals, on the other hand, those are lit. Like parties. People are scream crying, someone might jump in the hole. It's fun. It's awesome, man. Plus you get to see that hot-ass corpse. Yeah, really. I went to a girl funeral recently, had bottle service. And cocaine. Probably inappropriate for an overdose death, huh? It's not her fault. Dare failed her. It's not her fault. Dare failed everyone. No, honestly. It doesn't work because all they do is tell you about the worst parts of drugs. And then you try drugs and you're like, these guys are fucking idiots. Drugs are awesome. Yeah, but no. Not once do they mention how good a warm heroin needle feels. Or how fun it is to do coke and have sex with a corpse. It really never works. And they have such lofty goals. Like, they really think they're going to stop people from doing drugs. They really think they are. And they also teach you sex ed, which is crazy, because they think they're going to stop both sex, drugs, and the combination of sex and drugs. What are they, idiots? I didn't listen at all. I was snorting Smarties and getting hookers. I was a very horny child when I was younger. Dude, when I was younger, I was so full of cum, if it didn't land on a Kleenex or a couch cushion, it was coming out of my ears. Now it usually just falls out of my ass. I was a normal kid, though. Normal stuff going on. Think about this. They got trans kids now. And they're pumping them full of hormones. They got me nuts. I didn't feel bad, though. I shouldn't make fun. I could imagine being trans, you know. New body. You don't even know if it works. I got this thing in a minute clinic in Detroit. This shit might fall off. And sex is scary when you're a kid, man. Let me tell you about this. When I was 15, I got a hand job in a movie theater on opening day of Black Panther. Terrifying. So scary. I gotta say, terrible choice of film if you happen to be racist and trying to get a hand job. No, I know what you're thinking. Really? Darn, Black Panther is a little culturally insensitive? I agree. I think being obnoxious in movie theaters is cultural appropriation. It was scary, though. We had catching so many eyes. Which was bad, because, again, I'm a bigot. So, I didn't like the movie. But I had to pretend to enjoy it, so they don't find out I'm racist. But I couldn't enjoy it too much, or they'd find out I'm getting a hand job from a teenager. That's scary. Now imagine if I was trans. Imagine if my Detroit-made penis got ripped off. That'd be horrible. I'd rather have sex with a corpse. Alright guys, enough jokes. Not fucking around. Time to get serious. We're talking about a disease. This disease has killed millions, harmed even more, and now it is on the rise again. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about white rappers. White rappers typically come from an environment of too few black people and too many white kids with BMWs. And that makes my high school the Wuhan laboratory of white rap. this one white rapper. Let's just say this. Let's say his name was Gary Massey, because that's his full legal name. Gary didn't think Gary would be a very good name for a career in rap. He was right, so he changed his name. He changed his name to Trey, except he spelled it T-R-E and then another E for some reason. Can't even spell his own name, fucking treetard. Let me tell you about Trey. Trey played basketball for my high school. That was until at a sleepover, he recorded himself jizzing on his sleeping friend's head. And then after that, he had to transfer because we would chant Massey Masturbator and Gary Glazer at every home game. So after that whole ordeal went down, he'd be like, I know what I should do. I should make my rap career take off. I should really work on this. Because basketball isn't working out. I end up just coming out here. So he said to his parents, he said, Mom, Dad, I want to be a rapper, and I need a music video. So they got him one. They got him a film crew, some airsoft guns with the orange tip removed, and a black brother. And he was set. To go along with this, he again changed his name, this time to Trigga Trey. Spelled T-R-I-G-G-A. Now, I don't know who forgot to tell him this, but just because you put 80% of the N-word in front of your name doesn't mean you can say it. Like, I don't know, white rappers want to say the N-word so bad. I don't understand it. They can't. Or can they? They just need the right context. Because right now the context is they can't think of anything to rhyme with finger on the trigger and my gun bigger. That's not context. I think I found the real context. It's very specific, but it's when you're in a hostage scenario. I'll give you an example. You guys know the movie Captain Phillips? Yeah. If you haven't, it's a movie where these Somali pirates take over this boat. And it's based on a true story. And this wasn't in the movie, but in real life, Captain Phillips said the N-word over 150 times. Which seems excessive, right? But I think the first 3 or 4 were warranted, right? It's a scary situation. Now, Trey and his peers aren't in a hostage scenario. They're just recording it and putting it on SoundCloud, which is horrible. I wish I could delete all white rap off of SoundCloud, but I can't. Best I can do is just ruin it for all of you. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's hear some rap. Alright, let's go. I'm a white rapper trying to entertain the children's. Me and my stepsis, we fuck like pilgrims. Because I'm well hung, call me Robin Williams. She plays with my crack like Hunter Biden. I'm in her cunt, I slide it. Wet like Poseidon, I broke her hymen. She's a tauntaun, I am Skywalker. I Princess Leia with my daughter. We fuck like incest, ooh, my aunt's breast. My uncle's cock, my cousin's cat, my sister's slit, need a family road trip. Granny's got an RV for an anus, makes me anxious. I call it a bang bus. My family, we fuck each other. Not the kids, I'm no priest. Wait till 9, she's a beast. Thanks, guys, that's all.
Give it up for Justin. I think now times have been left speechless after a set, so I'm just gonna let our closer close us out. Give it up for Nick.
I was debating what's the new Scooby-Doo theme song, but I'm happy I went with it. I've been having this issue lately where I've been stepping on a lot of landmines. And for those of you who don't know, stepping on a landmine is a term I like to use, but when you ask someone a question, then you immediately get asking. For example, the other day I'm talking to one of my friends and I ask her, hey, how's your dog doing? To which she says, not good. My dog got hit by a car the other day. Click. That's uncomfortable. We don't want to talk about that. So I try to move on. I'm so sorry. How's your brother doing? To which she says, oh, he's in the hospital. You see, he was walking the dog. Fuck. I have to be careful now. The only reason these 2 landmines haven't gone off is because she hasn't noticed the 2 dents in the front of my car. date the other day. And my day started in like a pretty odd way because I was a little bit sick. I don't normally get sick, so as one does, I just chug as much cough syrup as I can. And in a little cough syrup-induced high, I start swiping on Tinder. I match with someone, we message. She invites me over to a place later that day. Score. So I go throughout the day and I'm fine, okay? No sniffing, no sneezing, no nothing. But just to be safe, before I go over to an apartment, I take an extra dose of cough syrup. Because as someone with allergies, you learn to be proactive about these kind of things after the first time you sneeze into a woman's mouth. But I get there and the date goes great, okay? We have dinner, we watch a movie, we end up making out in bed. Things are going great until she starts rubbing my thigh. And that's when I realize, well, did you guys know that cough syrup can cause erectile dysfunction? No one told me, okay? It is not on the box. It is not anywhere online. This is a serious oversight that needs to be corrected immediately. Does anyone need to get fired? No, because I get this as a specific situation, and I don't know how that conversation would go. Like, oh, did we test the medication for all possible side effects? Well, we tested it for, let's see, we have dizziness, nausea. Can I get a hard-on while on this medication? Why don't you need a hard-on while on cough medication? Well, maybe you have a date coming up and you're feeling a little bit unwell, but you don't want to reschedule because it's been a while since you've gotten some. Now, I'm projecting a bit there, but you all get the point. And ladies, I know you might have an issue relating to this kind of situation, so let me put it this way. We were trying to go to the moon, okay? She's expecting a rocket with high-grade fuel, and I filled this bitch with maple syrup. So, in a bit of a desperate attempt to try to get out of there, I stand up and I say, hey, I should be honest. I think I forgot my condoms at home. To which she says, who said you needed condoms? Please! Well, that didn't work. So, plan B. I excuse myself to go to the bathroom, grab my phone, and immediately start texting my friends. You know you're desperate when you have to text the almighty group chat. I don't care what you have to do, get me out of here. I see 5 of them thinking of ideas before I even leave the bathroom. So I get like halfway to a bed when I get a call. I'm like, oh, let me take this. Answer, put it on speaker. Hey buddy, what's up? Nick, you need to go over here right now. Your dog is on fire! I don't have a dog. But I guess I'm going with it. No, Sparky's on fire? He's more smoky now. This guy's giving me fucking jokes. But they're the jokes I have to run with. And granted, I have to keep in mind, during this whole conversation, this woman's looking at me with a look of utmost confusion. As you should when you learn your date's dog had just spontaneously combusted. So I get out, and I'm gathering all my things, like, I'm so sorry, I gotta go, and leave. Never have been so happy that I wasn't having sex that night. But as I'm walking to my car, I'm trying to get some lesson from all this. There has to be something to be learned. And I think my main takeaway is next time, cough syrup and Viagra. Though now that's kind of fucked up my search history because I've been getting a lot of ads for penis enlargement pills. And that's fine, I get it. You can capitalize on people's insecurity. That is fine. I just don't think it's realistic. Because if doctors could prescribe working dick enlargement pills, that shit would be bigger than crack. Like, imagine a middle-aged man limping into a doctor's office like, Doc, please, it's not enough. And I say it'd be bigger than crack. I think the similarities are there. Like, there would be millions of users worldwide, all hopelessly addicted, all willing to lie, cheat, and steal to get their hands on premium product. And I think the press would have a field day when they find out Hunter Biden's been doing that shit in the Oval Office. I think there'd be really different variant names too. Like, you have the real high classy kind, like neck of giraffe, or the one-eyed snake. And then you'd have like the real like street level ones, the real cheap ones, like PVC pipe, silly Willy shotgun barrel. But the idea of all this really does scare me. Because you know people would spend all of their money, sell all their possessions, lose their houses just to get their hands on more product. And that scares me. Because if this dick enlargement epidemic is anything like the crack epidemic, I'm going to be terrified of homeless people. I'm scared enough of homeless people as is. Show me a tweaker with a 12-inch cock and I'm never stepping foot in San Francisco again. Now, with all of this in mind, I'd like to announce my charity for penis enlargement research right here at St. Jude's Hospital. We have all the best doctors. Well, the ones who are good enough for cancer research. And I am taking donations. I'm not asking for much, just 4.5 inches.
everybody's like watching, like, all right, give it up for all of our comics tonight. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I hope you had a lot of fun. I know I did. We've done Purdue Stand-Up Comedy Club. We usually do shows on Fridays and Saturdays, so come on out, see us again. Follow us on Instagram at Purdue Suck. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Y'all have a great night. I've been Kelsey Lavin.